Men are bad people.
Guys, you're all bad
Men are
people.
very bad people. These men give money. But once he gives you money, he want to control you.
Our lovely viewers, how are you doing today? We are back. Diaries of an Entrepreneur, a space where we go to talk to different business owners, a place where we get to interact with different business owners to know their journeys and understand their journeys. And if you're there and you've not subscribed, I would recommend that you subscribe, because this channel is something that you need, that is going to change your business journey, that is going to change your perspective on how you see the business world. So don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, and we'll be back. For our viewers who have been watching us, we really appreciate you and we are so grateful for you. So today, we are in a generation where people believe that Gen Zs actually don't work. They get everything on a silver plate. But today the story is different. I have an amazing young girl. I love calling them Gen Zs. I hope she doesn't mind. I have an amazing young girl with me today. She is doing amazing things. She's trying to build her brand. I don't know the right way to mention it. I think it's Cucks. And with Cucks, she's under there. She's doing events. She's doing a bakery. She's doing surprises. She has catering. Yeah, she does. When they talk about several income streams, she's a definition of a moving several income streams. And today she's going to tell us, why isn't she holding her hand back? What has been her business journey been like? What challenges has she found in the industry as a young lady? Does her age and the current business world, does she find any major challenges, or she's just experiencing the business journey just like any other entrepreneur? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Ketra Castillo, right?
Kisakye
Ketra. I'm sorry about that. Welcome with me, Kisakye Ketra, to the podcast. Ketra, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, man?
I'm okay. We're excited to have you today.
I'm actually so excited as well.
So tell us, who is Ketra? Where did you go up from? People would want to know, who is this young lady?
Ketra is a Christian girl from Burger. My parents stay there. I grew up from there. My parents are pastors, and yeah, my PK, yeah.
Oh,
So basically that, and a CEO Cucks in general as a company.
What does Cucks in general as a company do?
We have Cucks Events that has decoration, pastry, ushering, so event planning. Depends. If you give us your whole function, we are able to provide everything about it.
And that's all?
We also have Cucks Glam. We have Cucks Events, Cucks Glam, and Cucks Candy.
Wow.
So
How do I manage?
How do I manage?
Because that sounds like so much work.
First of all, commitment and determination. You know, if you set your goal, because in Uganda, our income is not so shooting. You cannot depend on only one thing. As for me, I can't depend on only cakes. There are seasons when I'm not selling cakes, but I can do flowers, because I'm a florist as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so for instance, February, you know, it's the peak for love. So that makes a lot of money for me. Then we have weddings. Sometimes a client is not comfortable with giving you the cake, the planning and all that, but they're comfortable with giving you the glam, and you glam them up. So with that, that's why I decided to multitask. If you don't give me the cake, at least I'll make you work.
You'll find means of getting money from a client here or the other.
Yeah.
How does this journey begin of you being you seem, you seem young, I should say, you should be young. How did that journey begin? How does the story start for your business journey?
I come from a humble home. So my mom used to have a shop, these retail shops. And during holidays, there was a senior one. I would go to the shop to help her. So with that, he told me to have your own money as a lady. And if you have your own money, you avoid, how should I term it humbly, from men. Men don't underweigh you. Yes, when you have your own money and when you're independent, things vary. So after my Form 4, I said, I'm not going back to school.
You're feeding me.
Yeah.
You're a pastor's child and you were being very
Exactly that. And we had to go.
interesting.
We had to get silent with my dad. He believes in education so much. And he saw a doctor in me. I had good grades. But I saw
You saw something different.
yeah, and then I didn't really have a lot of vision, you know, just from Form 4, all I wanted was money. And I was, by school, the good part of it, we would do vocationals and also the main curriculum in studies. So by the time I moved out of school, I already had a certificate in fashion and design.
Wow.
So I just went to do my diploma at Semi International. So when I got my diploma, I started my fashion world. That's when Cucks Glam came in. It had makeup, bridal, and all that. So I worked with that from 2019 to 2018, 19, around lockdown time.
Do you ever regret dropping out of school? I didn't see that coming. It was like, do you ever regret, like, God, why did I even just drop out of school?
I do not 100%.
You don't.
Yes, I'm actually so proud of it. Yes,
So did dad and mom later come to terms with it?
my mom was on terms with anything that I wanted. My dad saw a doctor in me and he wasn't, so I decided to go for my fashion school. I paid my first term by myself because from way back, P7, I was doing jewelry, you know, those beads, paper beads, bags, and selling. So I was determined. During my vacation, I was working for my mom. She was paying me. I got that money. I paid my first semester as well. So my dad saw it was serious.
You saw a girl who was very, very good.
Yes, and you know the most interesting part? 2 years after my school, I had a fashion show at the National Theatre. In my brand. That's when my dad was like, yeah, I see something.
Like, hey, that's my girl, that's my girl.
Exactly, and it was full house. I get sponsors. It's on YouTube.
And he came around.
He came around. He saw the people that gathered, and
Here you are today. Here you are today, not regretting the journey that you took. How has the business journey been like?
crazy.
That was it been like?
From after my show, I opened up a shop in town, Cooks Fashions. We went on, lockdown came up. I started thinking, so now we're in lockdown, no functions, nothing. I decided to start up the juice business because with juice during lockdown, people were we were trying out different things, so it picked. And I was like, yes, so I can. And funny enough, at that time I was working with NTV as a stylist, so I would move, deliver my juice, then go to station. I used to style Linda Den. I'm now a makeup artist.
Wow.
So I used to tell her, do her makeup, and also do my juice because I had what are those things they used to give us to move? The stickers, essential workers. Exactly. Yeah, so the makeup too grew bigger because before lockdown, the bridal and boutique was really working, not as much as the makeup. So lockdown opened my eyes. I could not only feed on one thing. And you know, for makeup, I was only working with one person. If it's not weekend, meaning I'm not working. So that just held it on. And when lockdown came up, I had a lot of rent to pay.
It had accumulated.
Yes.
Mm.
And I couldn't. Because now, you know, the savings, we used them.
To the show,
Yeah.
to
However,
the business.
However, I had some money, like the juice, the makeup, and I felt like if I get my car money and put it in rent, that means I don't even have no money to stock.
With a show.
Yes, I paused.
We post the fashion store. Did it post for good or it later?
No, I carried my things back home to my mom.
To your mom?
Yeah, and I was like, Katinkomio, I'm back home.
East West home is the best.
Exactly.
So did you ever start the fashion show again? Did it ever come back to life or it paused for both?
It didn't post for great, but I didn't open up a shop again. You know, as time goes on, you realize different abilities. Money used to come through the bridals, but not as much as it's coming with the events. I picked actually different interests.
You picked the interest shifted.
Yeah, after lockdown, I've worked on different people in the celebrity world. I felt like a child and a no.
Better than that. So you felt like
A little
you have
bit.
evolved into a new person
Yeah.
and things had changed for you. So after lockdown, what does the business story look like? What do we venture into? What journey do we take?
My juice world opened up the events.
Wow.
I looked at juice and I'm like, okay, someone gives me a function to bring juice. I think I can do decoration. I go to my dad, I'm like, I'm back.
I need your support.
Yeah, I want to go and study decoration. He's like, what of fashion? I'm like, I'm topping up. You know, one thing I thank God, my dad doesn't have a problem with educating you if you want to add on. He'll pay the tuition every other way. So he pays my tuition, I go back to term, I do my decoration.
So how has the decorating world been? Decorating events? It seems a bit of competitive. I think a lot of, I don't know, I don't understand, but it seems a lot of people are into the events world. True or false?
True.
So how do you manage beating the competition? How has it been?
I wouldn't say it has been very good, but it helps me survive. The fact that I'm doing a lot in my businesses, there are those that have picked higher. For instance, the florist part of it and the gift shop part of it. The decoration, yes, but I wouldn't regard it as my peak as the gift shop and the floral part of it, because with that I can say I've excelled and I'm proud.
You're proud of yourself.
Yes.
So far you don't go broke. Eh? Because
I have like 1,000 things that I do.
am I safe to say that? Because that means that, like you said, if one thing is not working, the other is working. And that's the beauty of having several income streams. Like when you have several income streams, you're sure that you will survive, you will not sleep on an empty stomach. So am I safe to say that you're not a broke girl?
I'm not a broke girl. I'm not a broke girl, no.
How do you separate the different businesses? You know that now today I made money from maybe the juice. I made money maybe from the gift shop. I made money maybe from the catering. How do you ensure that now this money does not enter into each other? Like how do you separate the different businesses?
I have like 7 books. So when I make sales from the cakes, I'll write in the cake book.
Do they
Yeah,
all,
the
do they
pastry
all
book.
have different bank accounts?
No. I have, once I do notes and bank my money, it helps me review from my notes. Like cake, pastry, I made 1 million. Decoration, I've not made this month. From the roses and all that, roses, candies, I've made about 2 million. So when I go to the bank, I know this 1 million goes here. However, like, you know, I'm a girl. I can decide to tap.
Tap.
Yeah.
That means businessman is your money.
Businessman is not my money, but I pay myself.
You pay yourself.
Yes.
How do you determine you're okay? Is it that this month we made 3 million? So I see you, we made money. Next month we make 5 million. So I see this month I'll pay myself 500, this month 200. You have like a standard.
I don't have
figure.
a standard figure because some months I'm not working. And I cannot still pick from money I made the other months to pay myself. But depends. I pay myself according to my input in a month.
You input in a month.
After paying my colleagues, the people I work with, yeah,
You're like,
I look at the profit left.
and you determine your pay. Life is not that serious.
Exactly.
As a young girl in the business world, what are some of the major challenges that you found? Do you ever get like people who really down on you or don't believe in you? They see and they're like, because they say the world is crazy, people charge. They look at you and they're 30. Have you ever experienced things like that?
Yeah. The major challenge, I'm the brain in my business. If I'm not present, there are things that don't move. For instance, with makeup, someone will say, I want Ketra. Not the assistant, not what. So, and together with pastry, I'm not working with a very big team. So with pastry, there are things that need hands-on. When you're not around, they're not moving. So my main challenge is the environment around me. If I'm not mentally stable,
You don't have a good team to back you up.
yeah.
Wow. I think for most of the entrepreneurs that are out there out this landscape, I think that is one thing that we really need to maybe focus on building. Because as a business owner, especially given the fact that you're doing all that, the trick is we tend to break down. It's inevitable for us to really like break down. I personally, there are moments like I'm thinking, no, not today. Like you don't want to get out of your bed, and I'm like, no, I'm not picking that phone call. I'm tired. My mental health comes first because
Exactly.
if I'm not in a right mental state, I mean, I'm not going to be functional. And I find myself like, leader. But
pause.
people who have been sober enough and have built themselves amazing teams, I believe they, I don't know, that is a conversation for another day, but I believe at times they excel. That's why we're discussing earlier on, and I'm like, someone needs to be able to disappear from man without you having to feel like things are not going right. Like you disappear without guilt and you're beautiful.
Amen.
Church girl, Kike's child. That is girl. Do you still do ministry? Because growing up in church, if you are Kike, definitely, obviously, somehow you find yourself between ministry. Do you still do ministry?
Yes, I really do ministry. And I prioritize ministry like 50% right now. Because then I was making a lot of money and really church wasn't my thing that much. Surprising. I had stepped out.
Church.
But God tested me. Proper. And I decided to serve again. I'm a youth pastor at our church. And it has really helped me. Business-wise, sometimes you wake up and you don't have any order. But I've seen God work for me. Actually, in my business, it's good. I wouldn't say friends, because friends have disappointed me like 10 over 10.
Friends you bad those are not your friends. Whoever disappoints you in the business world is not a friend.
Relationships, I would say disappointment, 10 over 10. Church has not disappointed me.
Wow.
Like, those are people that have held it up. They support me spiritually, business-wise. They're my first team. Like, there is no wedding happening at church without Cucks Events, definitely.
I know, I hear you.
So, actually, if you're a youth and you know Christ and you evolve Christ in your business, it works. I'm not saying leave work and go and pray all the time. No. But schedule yourself. My weekends, if I don't have a function, definitely at church.
You are church serving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely at church. And if I tell them at church I may be taking myself for a vacation or what, they'll understand because I'm always there and I do not miss. I don't have an excuse for church.
Don't have an excuse for church. The time you mentioned about that you were out of church, God tested you, and then you went back to church. Can you compare the two lives? Like, how was it in the world? I'm going to use the world because it's basically you're either in the world or in church. So how was it in the world? How hot or cool was it?
Very interesting. I had become like a celebrity for some time. You know, I was working with celebrities. So, of course, if you move with a celebrity, people start following you, which helped me a bit in my business because my numbers grew. Yeah, and then I attracted so many friends from the world. Having friends that do not know God is a bit funny. The things they do and they have no remorse about them.
Yeah, and that was saying that tell me your friends, I tell you who you are.
So they were not bad, but they were, I don't regret losing them. It helped me, yeah.
So you'd never go back in the world at any one point?
I'm not saying I'm a church girl. I'm in church. I'm outside. You know, people think if you're in church, you shouldn't dress well, you shouldn't do colored hair, you shouldn't do nails, you shouldn't. There are churches that do that.
No, guys, can you break that? Being a child of God, you should look like you're the light, you're the city on the hill. So your nails should be done, your hair should be like people should see and see Christ. Why are you dressing so poorly and not putting makeup because what? Because people don't call it.
Depends. Churches, they are ministers in church that judge. Why are you doing those nails? Why are you doing colored hair? And you know one thing, I thank God, my dad. My dad is my biggest support system. He'll find me without nails and I'm a chichi. What happened? Don't you have money? Why are you doing black hair? It's not your kind.
Because he has learned you knows his baby.
Why don't you have your lashes? You know? And he has protected me from people in church. You know, people in church are different. They'll tell you, why do you do your nails like people in the world? Yes, people in church know that
2026?
we are really, yes, so judged. But then, the fact that my pastor, who is my dad in our ministry, he got a way to tame that for us and make it comfortable. Once you're comfortable in church, you're comfortable in the world. You don't feel like, oh, if I go out for dinner, everyone is on me. So many girls don't do that for themselves because they feel like, I'll be judged. I love band. I go for band, then go back home. But I'm still in church. So I did not let my spiritual life press my life too much as well. I balance my life. I balance my God with myself. And I think
basically, you set your principles that you have your principles that I'm serving in church, I'm a child of God.
Yeah.
Like once in a while, I can step out and have a meal.
Yeah, I can go to the beach.
That's right.
And enjoy.
Who says a pastor you people? Don't you do? Who says a pastor should not go to the beach? I'm going to claim someone here.
Yes.
Are you sure? Okay, a pastor, even if you are pastors, are supposed to. They're human.
Being a Christian, and from that world, there are things they feel like a pastor's child, you're wearing a bikini, you're wearing a costume, you're wearing this, you're wearing that, and it dims people's life. That's why you find people in Christ, but depressed.
And depressed
Yes.
because they are not living. They don't have a chance to live. Wow. I'm so glad that you've chose to live for you and do you. And I mean, I was going to use a bad word.
Once you live for you and you know that I have my relationship with God, people in church work on their relationship with their pastors instead of working on their relationships
Say
with
that
their
louder.
God.
Say
So
that louder.
if you work on your relationship with your God first, our pastor always tells us, do not be my disciple. Be a disciple of God. Yes. Fear God before you fear me. In our church, there is nothing like, oh, Pastor Wanabawo, I will worship. When the pastor is around, we are worshiping. When he's not around, we are worshiping.
Because at the end of the day, it's about
It's
God,
about
not
me
the man of
and God. Exactly.
Because most of us, what I've seen most people doing in the current generation is, my man of God, my man of God, my man. You never hear anyone say, my God, my God, my God. Like, I think like she has put it, at the end of the day, it gets back to what relationship do you have with your God?
Yes.
Because if you don't have a personal relationship with your God, then there is a big, big, big challenge. Do you believe in business altars? Like paying tithe? Let's talk about paying. Do your businesses pay tithe?
Yeah.
Why is that? Yeah.
I had failed to understand that I think until I gave into, I would say I wholly, in my adulthood, gave my life to Christ last September.
Renewing your relationship.
Yes, I've been a Christian girl, born, from a Christian family. But when we grow up, everyone decides what they do. And I was still in church, but not as much as I'm in church now.
You were in church for being in church.
I was in church because my dad was a pastor. Right now I'm in church because I want to serve God. And I've known the benefit of tithe, the benefit of putting your income in church. You know, when you get your money and give it in church, that's where people fail. If you get your money and give it in church, there is no way the Lord won't bless you. I've seen the Lord come out for me because of, yes, you give tithe, you support God's work, very key. The people that give tithe and they don't support God's work, they're like, I gave tithe, why am I helping to construct? Exactly. And once I give tithe, I don't count on that money to do God's work. No, I have to get my money and do ministry. And it has really helped me. There is nothing I touch in my business and it doesn't thrive. I'm not saying everything is at a boom, but at least there are things I look at, like my pastry, and I'm like, that was God.
Yeah, you see the hand of God more.
That was God. I didn't have any capture from anyone, but somehow God did everything for me, and I have a whole pastry place that I'm so comfortable with. Beautiful, amazing, and it's good.
Wow, wow. For someone who's out there and because you talked about dropping out of school. For someone who's out there, probably they dropped out of school. For you it was by choice, but
By
maybe
choice.
for them it was not by choice. They didn't, maybe their parents could not afford taking them any closer or any further. Maybe life happened, circumstances happened. What advice do you have for them?
Before the advice, I don't actually consider people that have decided to branch as dropouts.
Talk about it. Yeah, because you're actually still in school, but in Uganda we know that school is senior 6 university. Nekati, my father when at home he had an optional. If you get into senior 4, you're allowed to either go to a vocational school or continue. But trust me, whoever went to a vocational school
Is a dropout. Yeah.
not a dropout. They've somehow been able to make it.
Oh, yeah.
But there is a mentality that's, and I'm going to use the word dropouts because I want you to speak into those particular people. Someone that's only unable to proceed with school and they kind of feel stuck. They feel like, what advice would you have for them?
Especially to the girls, you should be patient with yourself. Once you decide, some people decide, others, it's maybe the situation. If I'm to speak for the people that have those situations, no school fees, no what, have strategy. You know, sometimes character helps you. Character and discipline help. For instance, some of my jobs, it was character.
That helped you get that.
Yeah, I didn't go to school to study makeup. I went to school to do my tailoring, the fashion that led me to the bridal world. But then character helped me learn how to do makeup. I had a friend that used to do makeup. Nemwe Sivako. You know, sometimes people be mean with their knowledge, but how you strategize yourself, you can get. After her working out, go get her kit, clean it, look at her during, you know. I told her, help me learn to do the bro, help me get products. Because of how I was with her, it was very easy for her. Because omuntu akoleze ebintu byongo ovakola, you don't pay them. Of course, when they ask you, it's easy for you to help. I'd say being next to skilled people helps you skill up. So that brings us back to the discipline. Toina sente ku saloon kuli kuchalo kuliko omutunzi w'ekyalaani kuliko wa saloon. Befriend those people. When you befriend them, it helps you realize yourself. I went to do fashion, and right now, if there is that time I regret, I feel like those 2 years I would have stuck to Deco.
Wow. It felt like the fashion thing is not, but I think it's, but you know, I believe in seasons. The fashion thing served its time in your life. Like it's a season that God put you in, and it elevated you till a certain point until you felt like you had outgrown it. But it lifted you to.
You said it well. It took me to a certain point, yeah? And I really appreciate that. Sometimes my dad tells me, "Negwo kolachi." When they call people in fashion, you stand. People doing makeup, you stand. People in pastry, you stand. How should I even say this? Multitasking has helped. All that leads me back to my mom. If I never used to work with my mom in her shop, I would not know that people struggle to get money. That's why I urge parents to involve their children in businesses. Inti sente newezigana for Form 6. Already this,
experience now.
yes, the grooming helps them. I didn't need to be pushed to go do my vocationals. I pushed myself. Our neighbor, actually the immediate neighbor home, Mutunzi, I would go to her place. Mama Sam study record. She drafts, I cut out. Sometimes I help her tailor. So by the time I went back to school, already nali mfunyeko idea, but through okwesiba kumuntu. Sometimes if you don't have money, you should let down the pride.
Humility is everything. Humility is key.
If you are very good with hair, and I want to learn hair, but you're a bit tough, I have to learn to be with you for me to grow. That's where I say we need to be patient with ourselves. If I was not patient with myself, I don't think I would be here. Because of course, fun does come, but principles and patience. Yeah.
Do you ever get like, how do I put this? We are a generation of very entitled. Too entitled, lazy girls. Tetwagala kola. We are too entitled. We don't want to work. And we feel like it's okay for me to have several multiple men sponsors, we call it, and people are okay with that kind of life because now we have a choice. You're beautiful, you're young, and definitely people will come here, then there. So you have a choice, so I can sit down and I'll get the money, I'll get the persons. Why didn't you think that direction? I'm trying to be nice, guys. I don't want to use them. I don't want to give me names. But why didn't you take that direction?
Men are bad people.
Guys, you're all bad
Men are very
people.
bad people.
Mwena mwena mboli babi.
Yep. You know that saying, if you don't work on yourself. I did decide to choose men because, first of all, my mom is my role model. I've seen my mom work for her money. My dad has money, but she's not a lady that says, "Mugende watata amabaye sente za sabuni." No. My mom worked. And when you work, you gain respect.
Wow, that is important.
So with my pride and waiting for a man to give me, this man give money. But once he gives you money, he want to control you. And once a man gives you money, trust me, there is nothing like financial independence from money you receive from men. Why? Once they stop giving, you cannot withstand this money on their account. Because you want to keep up the style that you've been living. But if you've been working for your money, you know how to spend it. There are things I don't do with my money.
Like what?
There are exaggerated things I don't do with my money. I will say.
We just say that things just can't. You've worked hard for it, so you can't spend it anyhow.
Yo, I've worked very hard for it.
Would you buy a phone of 7 million?
Yes, right now. Then I wouldn't.
Then you wouldn't. But right now you've watched in a place where you can get your 7 million and buy a phone.
And because, you see, why right now I'd buy a phone of 7 million? It's because we are working with internet. And with our jobs, you need a good phone.
True that.
To push your content. I'll do that. But then, I wouldn't put my 7 millions in a friend's wedding or a birthday party. And that's where girls go wrong. Because I want to please you
as my friend
and to keep up with your standards, I'm going to go out of my way. That's why we end up losing our businesses and you have to focus on a man. Right now, no one can step out of my business and I get shaken apart from me. No one can come and say, I need to see your books. Even my dad doesn't check my finances.
So who are you to check my finances?
Thank you. And once you don't give that opportunity to a man, it brings respect. I'm not saying independent women don't go through heartbreaks. We actually go through a lot of heartbreaks because men are intimidated by independent women. A man would want you to depend on him. But what comes with the independence? Nah.
Wow. So, they say imbu, and I want you to quote me right, they say imbu. The independent women, the women who have made some money, find it so hard to stick in relationships because they feel they can earn. What do you say about that?
Yeah. Because women that have their own money, there are things you don't stand. You cannot beat me and I stay in a relationship.
You beat me, am I a cow? You.
Exactly. But you know when you're depending on a man for food, for shelter, newa kuba. However, they are good men. He will support you and still doesn't look into your finances.
Support the hustle.
Yes, he will support you. He will want to see you grow. He will elevate you. Yeah, I'm speaking out of experience with that.
Hey, man.
He will elevate you. He will do everything to see you go to
be a better person.
Yeah, become a better person. However, that interrupts our growth. How? Like anyone, free money is sweet. Money you've not worked for is good money, but you should stick to your principles. A man will come and spoil you. He gives you everything. Boom, now click out. You lost your business because now I am working. I have my money. That's why I always tell my friends, they get good men with money, and a man tells her, lock your shop, close your shop. How much do you earn a month? 2 million. I'll give you 3.
Nachiva. But I think that's what happens when someone doesn't have like purpose or a mind of their own.
Even when you have purpose, free money is good money. Even when you have purpose,
No, by the time
sometimes you lose track. That draws us back to the spiritual world. If you're with God, there are obstacles He will not let you go through. You get? Yes, the man has come. He gives you the money. But then the boundaries.
are there.
Yes. What makes us lose our businesses, lose ourselves? It is because we don't have spiritual conduct. Buli waddayoko ku church n'owulira ekigambo ogamba I'm not supposed to fornicate. I'm not supposed to sleep with men for money. You lay back. So once I remove the fact that I'm sleeping with you, some men withdraw. So if he withdraws, that leads you back to your hustle.
You focus again.
Thank you. Kati ffe abali mu church, you're always focused because you know sawa yonna omusajja yeekyanga.
You know that men are bad people.
Exactly. Babi nnyo.
Baby, no.
Good men are there, but still I advise us ladies,
You advise the same
stay
as
with your income. Ne waba akuwasiza and all that, have financial independence. Don't join your account with your man for love. Don't invest in those men. They are bad.
Ketra. We don't want you're giving advice that we don't join our accounts with these men, they are
Yes.
bad people. But for them, are they supposed to join our accounts with us?
Yes.
Hey.
The man is the head and I'm the neck. It's the neck that shows the head where to go.
So anyway, are there moments in the business world that you felt like giving up?
Yes.
What have been those moments? What are those? Tell us about those moments when you felt like giving up.
The time I had my baby out of wedlock, I'm a Christian girl.
It's like you say that thank God you had jumped out of church.
Yes.
The mistakes we made.
Yeah, the mistakes we make, the mistakes I made made me feel like, why am I even struggling? Life is meaningless. I had suicidal thoughts. And that's a thing I tell people and they tell me, Oli Musiru. That is why
Depression is real.
Depression is real.
And suicidal depression. There is functional depression and suicidal depression, but it's real.
And men are bad. Because
Men are
trust me, once this brain is tortured, you don't function.
At all.
You rather sit home and sleep to gain momentum. So the time that I really, I had a restaurant. I had a restaurant by then. Oh, Nambole, you see Centenary Bank?
Yes, yes.
That car flat there, my landlord was called JK. He passed away. May the Lord rest him. That man bambi but when nampa room ye. I was paying rent, but at a good price. I did my restaurant there, very good. And boom, challenges here and there. Locked up my restaurant. It had peaked as doing Lusania and I was making a lot of money. Every Thursday I had a Lusania day. 150, 70, and 25. And I would make over 800 on a day. In a week, it was good money. Challenges came. By the way, we young ladies, now you have, me, I feel like sometimes you have to choose between yourself and the people around you. I chose to be a bit selfish. That is why right now I'm happy. If you're not, there are things you have to say no to. They've called me for a birthday and I have to go way out for me, from my income. No. Learn to be comfortable with not being present in some occasions.
All occasions, actually. Don't be everywhere. It's
Yes.
necessary.
When I learned to say no, to certain things, it helped me gain momentum. That leads me back to your question. I lost. Hey,
Did you fall in love? What happened?
I fell in love. Love never forget a problem. It helped me grow, and it broke me. I think that time I had 2 cars. I had money to sustain my good life. But I didn't have Christ proper well. I knew God, but I didn't have God.
You knew he was there, but you didn't have a personal relationship.
Yes, and it broke me proper. Back to zero. Sometimes God will test you with greener pastures. And when he takes them away, it teaches you.
Tumbles you.
Yes.
Because he wants your attention and you're giving him attention.
Yeah.
So he's like, let me shake your babes.
The story that broke me back to zero, I can't put it out here. But then it helped me get sense again. Omanyi ife abakazi, when you start getting money, sometimes you lose sense, sometimes you gain a lot of sense. Now I had the purpose, but I'm spending the way I want. Going out and spend 2 million, 10. Small money.
Small money at that time, not
Yes.
now.
No. I go out and spend 2 million. No. No. I go and spend.
But it has been a budget.
Yes, it has to be in a budget. That is why lately when I tell my dad I'm going for a vacation, he says, Momoleka agende.
For the manu of the time moving now.
He saw me break. He saw me to the worst. And now he has seen me bring myself back. And no one can tell you, carry yourself back. Enough of that. He has to them to call it. I had put out, I work from Bakaluva Mall agenda. I put out things in my shop. I'm going home. Business again. But then there is, oh God bless you, there is this guy that spoke to my life. He told me, we've served God way too long for you to give up all this hustle. And I can't say I've not gone through challenges. Multitasking is hard. Sometimes you lose perfection in a given thing. Because tonatelelamu cake okute chirala. You get, but it is because of situation. There are people that are only doing flowers and they're very okay. Me, I can't. Because now my floral business has peak seasons. These other times it brings like a 300, like a 500, but then Valentine's you're assured of your 10 millions on a day and
it's okay.
Yeah. So when that season slows down, the pastry is back. When the pastry slows down, the decoration peaks. When the decoration slows down, the juice comes. So in everything we are doing, put yourself first. Before men, before
Ketra.
friends.
Ketra, first tell us. You've really assured us. What did these men do to you, apart from daddy?
They are bad people. By the way, ladies, we are failing to prosper because of men and competition. You look at Ketra, I'll look at you in your harvest season. I'll come at this place and that good space. And I'll use my money for seedlings so I can live up to you. Yet you're already in your harvest. People don't know what you've gone through to get to where you are. That is why I say, if I'm patient with myself, your harvest will not shake me. I'll be like, yeah, I really admire eye candy with her decor. But I cannot say, I'm going to take a loan and do this so I get there. They have their history. They have where they came from. So I'm patient with myself to go to higher grounds. That is if wesonyiwa emikwano n'abasajja.
Eno, abasajja muri
Bw'oneesonyiwa emikwano n'abasajja ojja kukola ssente. A good man will come. Men fear independent women. Once a man comes to you when you're independent, he knows that he has not come for just anything. And they respect you.
But I also believe that once, like you said, once you're rooted in Christ and in church, God will always give you that divine partner or spouse. I mean, He will always find the right partner for you.
If you're patient.
If you're patient, are you being patient or what?
Right now, I'm so patient with God that He will bring I don't know if He's there. I'm patient with God to bring the right person.
How is parenting? How is from other part? Has this
Amazing.
been?
How has it shaped you?
It gave me purpose. You see, before I had purpose, but my money didn't have a lot to do. It was my money. My dad is not these parents of Tetulina mazi mperezayo. My dad doesn't call me for money. Neither does my mom. Now, of course, as a responsible person, omanya nti dad wange kamwocheyo, you know. Yeah, let me do this home. I don't. For us, our parents may be comfortable with the situation home. No, I'm coming in a situation. I just sabira watch trina cement waka. Let me do tales. They don't have to engage. You get. Apart from that, I didn't have purpose. But when my boy came in, you look at him and you're like, I have to go back. He gave me purpose. He gave me lessons, good lessons. I now know what to do with myself. And ladies, don't wait to be tested. Don't give birth if you're not ready.
Don't give birth to a child you cannot afford.
Yeah, let love not
Blind you.
Yeah. Once you decide to get pregnant, do it for yourself, not for love. That means I can afford to take care of my son. Even when the man goes or stays, it's okay. And these men also know where purpose is. He can't leave a good woman, however, challenges that may come. Yeah. My son is there. He has a very great dad, a very amazing father. And with my son, he also gives me a very great purpose to work so hard and give him a good life, as well as a mom. There are calls you're not supposed to make. Omana asabye chimotoka kubesimu. No. Once you make your money, there are things that be easy.
Life becomes easy.
Yeah.
Bottom line is that women should make money, be independent, and
Be
you don't have
independent.
to. You don't. It saves you a lot of. No.
Bush drum.
It saves you a lot of drama because most people are stuck in relationships they're not supposed to be in, just because they are broke.
Yes, I saw a meme that said that relationship is still on because of a car. You feel like, once I break up with this man, he will take his car.
I can't be in a relationship because he gave me a car. I will get to that. But again, anything for my, I've been through depression, and I think anything for my mental health. So I would not be in a relationship, you're beating me, and even if you abuse you, anything small, I will pack out and leave.
May I go? That's why most men that come to me say, Tata wa mmoya bakuza bubi. For us, our father trained us to be independent.
And happy. There's being independent.
Independent and extremely happy that even when you hit rock bottom and you're depressed, somehow you come back. And families, me go kuberera abana bamwe. Abazadde mulekerera abaana yazaala before wedlock and all that. Yes, it is not good. But when a challenge comes, learn to embrace it with your children. Yes, and how we're going to go about this. It helps us. Me, my family, myself, I want to thank me for standing. My family, myself, and my son have kept me going.
Have kept you going. There are people out there who don't have a support system, like the support system you have. And it's maybe they are orphans, maybe like you said, I was at the most parents when someone gives out or the back with the windball, they are judged. They make a person feel like you're an outcast, like never must, like you're there. So you find in the world it's you. At times you even end up well and you can't even have anyone to call because the world is a bit cruel. And in some instances, even since men are not good people, or said they are pusula what bad. What do you have to? What would you tell a person like that?
I'll tell a person like that to focus on themselves. Some of us have support from family, mental support, not financial support. That leads us back to what you said, entitlement. There are people that are entitled. My father is a millionaire, definitely I'm a millionaire. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. Because yes, you've lost your parents. You're not going to grieve forever.
I know, life moves on.
Yeah, life moves on. How I advise you, gain momentum, love yourself.
Heal.
When you love yourself, you can do greater things. There are people that are rich naye nga tebeyagala. Aina sente, aina emmotoka ennungi, aina ennyumba, ali depressed. Nga balina buli kimu. Tebamanyi kweyagala, baagala babaagale. Haven't you seen such people?
But
you lose yourself because
love yourself.
You lose yourself because you broke up with a friend.
Hell, that's if you're my friend and we broke up, that is not happening. No, it's not happening.
Sometimes it happens, and especially to young girls.
Because they're trying to look for validation.
Because losing, sometimes it even comes to girls. Losing a girlfriend means I've lost part of my clientele. Anyway, sometimes even they're not our clients.
They are never your clients. Look around, most of your friends, when they're coming to your business, it's vagala banje. When they're coming to your business,
when they're coming to your business, they will come to your business because they don't have money.
When they have money, they're supporting someone else.
Golako makeup. When they get money, they go to faith pray. Oh, cats. They go to another person. Those high-end
celebrities.
Yes. They go to celebrity people to do their makeup. Odina sasula emitwalo asatu. But kugwa kugamba ninawe ebiri. Don't you see such people? They'll come to your boutique, buy a trouser at 25, but buy the same trouser online because the celebrity is selling it at 100,000.
At times they even come and they want to date. So they take your things on dates and they want her, I'm struggling, I'm going through this and this. And they don't want to pay on time. 2 months later, they come to pay, and when they're coming to pay, they're taking months. But you realize that their wardrobe is changing every day. The minute there's something that they're buying.
You're even lucky they pay you. Others, for us, they stop talking to you.
Hey, because good riddance. Okay, the business is making a loss, but good riddance.
They stop talking to you. And to me, my biggest supporters are strangers. My clients are strangers. I think my biggest sales in Aya in Fed, where we have Valentine's, I make the biggest sales. But I think 10% are my friends, 90% are strangers. Atenga moyo 10%, 8% it is family. 2% de mikwano jange, akubira nti omwana mradde n'omuwa sente. Akubira nti olina birthday n'omuteerako
Wait,
sente.
you're not supporting me sente zengendo. Uwamba ngenazi.
Because batwagala naye tebatwagaliza.
Wow. I keep telling people, you know, where I say this side, but you know, I buy my eggs in Mavanjo. You know, I buy eggs in Maganjo, like skip. Because if I want a quick 5M, the Maganjo person will give me a tatunu America. So I would rather incur that cost of 20K to have my eggs delivered. Definitely I buy in bulk, like I do bulk buying. You get it? But it's because I know I'm supporting someone who is going to, at the end of the day, when I need a quick 5M, they're going to give it to me. I swear, if you're my friend and you don't, this, I'm not trying to be petty, but this is me. If you're my friend and you're not supporting my hustle, you're not calling me for that. You have no business doing this. I'm not in your emergencies at all, because what am I going to use to support you?
And you know, you can tell once you elevate
and that friend of yours is still with you, gwe mwava naye wansi, gwe ng'ofunyemu ku ssente, and they're still okay with you, then that is a friend. Because you see these people, once now your businesses have started peaking, people know you, people call you, you have like a good following, or you would go out and with them and someone comes, oh, you're Cooks, I see you, I follow you. And those people still stay with you. You're lucky. Then that's a friend that will see you prosper and they are still there. Our friends see us prosper and they are jealous. And if you learn to be comfortable with yourself, I don't say be alone, it's boring, but learn to be comfortable with being alone. Because if you are alone, you think. And even when these people go, you're not affected in any way. My cut-off game is so good, and I'm proud of it.
How do you cut them off?
You go.
Genda.
And I don't have remorse. I learned, you know, what keeps us stranded? Getting attached to what you did for me. Bambi yanta sanga sirina nali muradde najja nandabirira nampa sente nampa zino sente oba yampa million 10 when my business was stranded. Millions zokumi wazimpa nezikusasula. But every time you're like, when we yali talina sente namuwa sente zange without interest, I gave you your money. I'm not going to be a slave to that. Being a slave to what people did for us keeps us in misery and affects us generally.
Actually, what I think is that Junior can be in your life for a particular season. Like God puts me in your life for a particular season. And once that season is done, He will pull you out or something will happen and we shall know. And I'm entitled to more. I will give myself the grace to more.
And you know what they always tell people? But haven't you been with friend relationships where you feel like I've paid more than you gave?
I know.
I've paid more than you gave, so if you learn the detachment game, biruma, right now I don't think amongst anyone around me, I'll live your life. And
maybe
I get miserable apart from my mom and my dad.
Understand.
Of course, my son. But leave family apart, and with family I mean my mom, my dad, and my biological sisters. Anyone else, nothing. You can leave, exit.
And that has helped your business.
A lot. Kubanga abewola.
Bagenze.
Thank you. A stranger tagenda kujja kwewoleko. How? Naye mukwano gwo yajja. You have this impola. Omuntu neyewola n'ekintu ky'omutwalo mu dduuka lyo. Ekiro n'agenda n'aspending. I'm not saying don't spend.
I know,
spend.
but where are you spending?
But mulimu, right now I made up my mind. There are items zestawola mu dduuka lyange. Lip gloss, wipes. Why? Lwaki weewola wipes? You can do without them. Yeah. So with that, mulimu that little money that comes in, lip gloss, candy, kati my candy business tebewola. Tinzize newole candy, you can live without candy. They do.
How?
They do. Ajana gamba leero nkolerayo omukebe gwa this amount nja kusasula. Yes. Candy. They do. And once you put boundaries to your to your business, people start respecting them. Katinze, they know my pastry, my candies, my gift shop, temwewola. Sikuma mabanja. Reason being, katuwewola ekintu kyemitwalo 3 ate ntandika okukubira. I've moved past that. It helps your business grow.
Set boundaries.
It makes you look a bit selfish, but it helps you grow.
I hear. Yes.
It helps you grow, it helps you avoid drama. Once you look for solutions to eliminate a few things in life, you start realizing your finances. Because if I eliminate abewola, I eliminate dramatic friends, it means that I'm no longer going out to funny parties. My money is there. Yes, I put money in ministry, but it's not as much as the money I put out in friends. So kati right now sente zange esikola nenzirabako newemba sirina ayina ekyazigenda kujja. Ministry has helped me. I don't put in ministry and I don't get. Tekisoboka.
Young ladies out there, get out of your comfort zone, set boundaries. Ketra has said it all. I believe it's been an amazing 1 hour of talking to this beautiful young lady. And if you've not learned anything, then you will never learn. If you've not learned anything, then you will never learn. Ketra, I always give my thank you, number one. Thank you for, coming. That was a good conversation that he just had right here. It was so broad. We talked about several things, and I believe that it's going to change someone's life. I believe that someone is going to be really, really impacted. Thank you for allowing that to boost you in this podcast.
You're welcome.
I always give my guests a chance.
Yeah.
It's a culture on this podcast. I'll be asking you questions. So I always give my guests a chance to ask me just one question. Any random, anything random.
You didn't know me, and I didn't have like a connection with you, and you decided to support my pastry business. That always rang a bell in me, and I'm like, why did she? So today, why me? Yet you have, I think, like 1,000 people that do pastry, but you chose to support me.
People who do pastry are so bad, especially in my cycles. Wow.
You did it for me, for my dad, for because I understand you're friends with my dad.
So this is what happens. I'm in Rotary, where I'd been happy to meet your dad, and your dad speaks so highly of you. So I think we didn't know actually what you do until Dad started telling us, my daughter does this, my daughter does this. We're like, why are we buying cakes from the entire world and everywhere else, and we are not buying figs from our very own? And it was a bit disturbing. And then when he actually ordered the cake from you, it was very amazing. So it was like almost a journey of not turning back. And I can confidently, there is an order of 20th, you need a cake on 20th. I can confidently say that this is just a start. You're going to get a lot of orders from us because in Rotary we support the in-person. They're supposed to be supporting the in-person. But for the longest time, that had never told us exactly what she would do until he started speaking about it here and there. And then we were like, why not? And then when I get to, I think I saved your number, and then I got to see that you had a good work going on. And then at one point I remember I had to ask you that, I'm like, apology. Because I felt like it was too much, but I like the passion that you had towards your work. Like in Febe, I saw you put in the work. You even had to send me a message and you're like, if you know anyone who wants to gift someone, as we don't gift people, but if you know anyone who wants to gift someone, please reach out. You're getting it. So the passion that you put in and the hard work and everything, I was like, someone really is passionate about their work. So that for me, I definitely have a soft spot for ladies who make their money. I have a soft spot for all business owners, and that is what people are for.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast. Please tell these people to subscribe to the podcast. Tell them to watch. Tell them to follow.
Before I tell you guys to follow, because you have to follow, the last thing I would love to say to anyone out there watching, especially the young girls or ladies, get yourself people, make a circle that knows God. People that know God. I learned to get my friends in church. People that know God, there are things they don't do. However bad it gets, they are things they do not do. I don't say get people that know God. Everyone knows God in their own ways. Get friends that have a relationship with God.
A spiritual relationship.
Yes. When you have such people around you, trust me, you grow.
With that said, I'm from Cucks Events.
How can we support you? Where are you located? Your numbers?
I'm located at Bakaluba Mall, Shop B21. You'll see a very big poster of Cucks Events and dummies of ladies dressed in clothes. We sell clothes as well. Because it's a gift place, so I felt like maybe that too. Sometimes people want to get maybe a cloth for someone. Yes, I'm located at Bakaluba Mall. We do a lot of things, and do not hesitate to come maybe to be inspired, to talk to us. I enjoy when a young lady comes and they're like, how can I do this? Yeah, sometimes I'll help you for free. Other times you have to pay. It depends on how you handle me. Yeah, my number is 0706 25 6799. That's my business line. Please subscribe to this page. Like, follow, and share.
All right. Thank you so much, Ketra, for allowing us to post you once again. And guys, like they've said, Tewai Pulanga Pulala, subscribe, share. It's only you want to see your business grow and turn around.
Can I shout out to my dad? Daddy, I love you so much. You're the best man in this world. My mom, I love you. My son, and of course, my working team. Cucks Events, well done team. And my youth at church, please share. You know how we do it.
Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, see ya.